Hi, my name's Nikki. I'm the Obsessive Bookseller, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Misfit Soldier by Michael Mammay. It's official at this point. Michael Mammay, author of Planetside, is my favorite science fiction writer. Unlike any other science fiction series, I find myself with this very childlike giddy anticipation whenever I know a new Michael Mammay book is coming out. And this one was no exception. People refer to Becky Chambers a lot as their ultimate feel-good science fiction writer, but for me, that's Michael Mammay. I feel good with great characters, heartfelt stories, things like that, but what really fires me up is a lot of humor, a plot that doesn't take itself too terribly seriously, but at the same time still has a lot of substance. And so, yes, these works and I were a match made in heaven. I love them so much. And in that vein, my favorite part about Misfit Soldier was the sardonic humor. And even the tagline nails it. It's one man, no plan, what could go wrong? Practically dripping with the type of cheeky attitude that the book contains. And it's not overdone in my opinion. It's very intelligently conveyed. And it's not just that the character is cheeky, because he is, but the base narration has this very intelligent tone that kind of infuses a subtle sarcasm through the whole thing. And that's not to say the character isn't awesome. Gaz is so funny. He's equal parts intelligent and capable, and then able to bullshit his way through the rest of it. I laughed so many times in this book. And there was one scene in particular that just had me busting a gut. It was so good. The plots of the Planetside series kind of revolve around an ongoing mystery, whereas the plot for this one, it's essentially a heist novel. And I don't know, if you're like me and you're dying for the next Scott Lynch Gentleman's Bastard book, and you just need a good heist to sink your teeth into, this is essentially a science fiction version of a heist novel. It requires a master plan. It requires recruiting quirky people with special skills. But instead of breaking into a highly protected institution to steal something, they are trying to go planetside behind enemy lines to retrieve a soldier. So same framework, same awesome payoff structure, but in a science fiction format with guns and modified armor suits. What's not to love? So I had a ton of fun with the plot on this one. And it's one of those books where you really do have to just trust the process, that he's going somewhere with it, and there's a lot more going on than is immediately evident. So if you can do that, you are in for a treat. Subjectively, the reason why I love these so much is how it makes me turn off my critical brain while I'm reading and just enjoy the story. Whenever I get a copy, I'm never sitting there trying to figure out how many more pages I have until the end of the book so I can move on to the next thing. No, I am totally enmeshed with the characters and the plot, loving every moment. These are very much comfort reads for me, and yeah, I can't wait to see what he's going to come out with next. So I'm coming in at a 4.5 out of 5 stars, which means this is something that I absolutely love, but it's not quite my favorite of everything he's written. Planetside will always remain on a pedestal. It's kind of how I've tweaked my rating system lately. So 4.5 out of 5 stars is reserved for books in series or from authors that I absolutely love, but it's not quite my favorite from their works. The longer you do this, the more you need those little minute distinctions, or else it's just all the same. Anyway, yep, that's my rating. Loved it. Go check it out. Okay, now let's talk about other books you might like if you enjoyed Misfit Soldier. When I reviewed Planetside and a couple of other books in that series, I always give a section, other books you might like, and I focus strictly on the sci-fi stuff. In this case, because the tone is so different, I thought it would be fun to include other spec fic stories that were kind of in the same vein, the same type of writing, type of humor. But I do have a couple sci-fi. So first off, if you are a longtime fan of Scalzi's Old Man's War, then this is a perfect pick for you. This and Planetside both. Scalzi has the same sardonic humor kind of infused in the viewpoint of the character and how the story is portrayed. So if you like one, you are more than likely to like the other. Next is the Murderbot Diaries. I would say the style in this one with the sarcastic humor is a bit more apparent, whereas in Misfit Soldier it's a little more understated. But if Murderbot cracked you up, then I think Misfit Soldier will as well. Also, Murderbot is a very strong, very distinct POV, and I feel the same way about his character in Planetside and Gas in Misfit Soldier. Very strong character-driven story. Wizard for Hire. Say what you will about Harry Dresden, he is a very distinct character. I think he's funny. And so if you like the basic humor of this, the transition from urban fantasy to science fiction isn't as big of a jump as you would think. So if you like Dresden Files but have been itching for something new, this could be a good pick. I just realized I did that kind of backwards, but essentially these recommends can flip-flop either way. So if you like one, you may like the other. So I kind of presented in that matter. Most people, I believe, have read Dresden Files, so that's your frame of reference for whether or not you might want to pick up Misfit Soldier. Next is The Lies of Locke Lamora. I mentioned it in the video because it's my favorite heist series of all time. I love the writing. The basic cheeky humor is pretty similar in here as well. So if you like the humor of Mammay's writing, this is that plus a whole bunch of rich fantasy world building on top of it. So pretty dang cool. A little more gritty as well. This one takes itself a lot more seriously. And finally, The Black-Tongued Thief by Christopher Buehlman. This was another read where the humor got me in such a way that I was just absolutely delighted the whole time I was reading it. And that's how Mammay's works make me feel. And it's not so much even the characters and their thoughts and their dialogues, but it's how they view the world. It's the general overall narration of what we're seeing. And that was very strong in this novel here. So this would be a good pick as well. And there's the lineup. Thank you so much for joining me on this review, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye.